Jug it.
There you go.
I
Good
actually
man,
think
fuck.
that worked. Yeah, I'm sticking with them. It looks like it. Pat Ryder last time. I
Yeah?
think they've got a lot of tools, lots of team fight if they can.
Alright, I just want to know then, what does the...
You know, I think. But what we're gonna have against the good. Orphan sort of.
Absolute must have a time.
Time first game started here at G. Yeah, we are ready. Are our casters ready? Odie Gods, how are you doing there?
We're doing fine here, Shiva, and hello, ladies and gentlemen, and hello, Indonesia. We are ready for the first game here at the main event. It's Navi versus DD. I'm only picks I'm here with Gods. What more could you hope for? This is going to be quite a clash. We've got some fantastic picks. The panel, very much Navi's fan of it as well.
It's a great Morphling game. It's Trial on PL, which to me is one of the heroes from his pubs, from the pro games. He's done very well. I think Trial is going to feel more comfortable on this than some of the other heroes he's been throwing.
And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, getting into the action. DC versus Navi. It's best of one to stay in the tournament. Smoke up from DC. We'll head down towards the bottom lane. Brile, Stanking, Ritsu, ready to lead charge. So they know Navi. We do have 4 heroes here ready and waiting. We early clashed around this bounty ring.
DC's done a lot of this early smoke, so if Navi have watched some footage, they'll know something like this could be coming.
Gotta be careful here. See, hidden around the tree line, the smoke will wear off.
Kind of the danger zone. You always know being on that low ground is very, very exposed if you haven't scouted that right high ground where DC are positioned. Navi, do not venture further.
30 seconds to battle.
Save their hold back. Be able to find when it's able to get.
Like he's going to go safe lane with the bat, so he's given a 1v1 matchup against General. Right, a favored matchup. And Moon is the player who, to me, has been the standout with DC. He's the guy who's often had a great lane and had a kind of explosive performance. So giving him a good game, I think, is a good start for DC.
The battle begins.
I'm gonna have a bit of a look over. Through it out.
Waters rise.
There's a couple of. One.
I'll take your tribute.
Wise top lane matchup. Gonna have to keep eyes on General how well he can deal. Bat. The other 2 lanes. Any lane that out to you as struggling.
In theory, SF could be pressured by this dual lane, but this is also Navi, and they always dual lane mid themselves. So Lila's going to be here looking battle back, get that bonus damage from the Astral, secure deny, secure last hits for Dendi. So if Dendi gets early souls, he'll be okay. It really comes down to how this first bottom lane, Gyrocopter, Clockwork hogging back a bit, just small play. Both of these pretty low range heroes. Once Gyro gets a few levels, that's when it gets hard. The damage output from like a level 2 rock starts really.
Charge is able to get the early pressure. General, the level 1 stamp. Getting from the PS to the spam of Boom Meander.
Against Bagus and have like that napalm Firefly. Very, very far. And with Bat Rider now level 2, almost level 3, you're not using that.
Car scout onto Little, trying to keep Bayer, make sure the Brile has farm, and far so good for Brile. Brile, same to be said though for Dendi. He is getting this early CS. Souls are building up to a point where he's going to be able to sort of hold his own in getting the creep side of Chaos.
Say lanes that for the time being favored DC, particularly with this Fantasia. Up. Pressure the morph lane though. They're going to be able to solve the morph.
Top lane where there's the biggest offset in farm. Having the advantage, as expected, in the Bat versus Stank.
Nice thing about Sand King is there's always kill potential. So a support rotating to his lane, once he's like level 4, level 5, could see some kind of a kill happen. But it's also going to require General not to get bullied too much before then.
The attention being drawn towards the mid lane by DC. He's being eyed up. Sand King does have that invis route. If he's able to get any sort of a surprise play. Aui's in position as well to the side of the tower. And he does have the Elder Titan relatively near. It seems Dendi able to just hold the lane close enough to the tower so that DC can't find an opportunity with that. Aoi will have to make the move back down to the bottom lane to continue to help out Ritsu. Because
Ritsu
as you
can't
see,
farm,
as soon as he's left alone, he starts to struggle.
Yep. The second Clockwork left the lane and it was scouted out by Navi's ward. Bane was just up there trading hits, brain snapping him. Ritsu was not getting farmed with the Clockwork missing from this lane. So Aoi needs to stay bottom.
General playing on the edge of his life there. Did get up to 6 stacks of sticky napalm, but he's got the salve. Will salve himself back up to full health. DC continue to make these support rotations now as they've sent Sand King down to the bottom. So they've got 3 down here. Will be spotted out. Navi keeping good tabs on the movements and the rotations of these 2 supports.
General actually gets in a lot better position because of this. He even cancelled the clarity of Moon. I say that, he's now getting godded again.
He goes straight for the TP out. He has to cancel it though. Knows that he won't be able to TP out in time to the right clicks. So he'll survive. Moon now incredibly low. Lil comes in with a rotation, but Moon, he's salving up. We're going to hold back, make sure that Lil can't cancel the salve. Moon will be fine.
He stood still, so the flame break missed. The last thing Moon expected was just a standing still Sand King to then TP out, because if that flame break hits, that is a kill.
Lil will come in with a couple of punches. Need to back off. Moon out of mana though, pretty much. Only down to 50, so Lil not in too much of danger of being harassed. Mid lane, the CS as it goes, pretty much even between these 2 cores. 20 for 4 on Bryle, 19 for 3 on Dendi. Both mid laners getting the farm thanks to the early help from their supports.
Yep. As far as that goes, I think Na'Vi is slightly favored if this all cores are farming. The Morphling has a very free game with not too much to worry about. The ET is naturally going to mean that Na'Vi's heroes are going to scale better into the late game, and DC's will struggle to scale into the late game because of that aura. DC, it feels like, are under a bit of pressure to at least have some kind of a mid-game impact.
And this has got to be painful for DC. I mean, we've seen a couple of times now Aoi coming towards the mid lane, but he's unable to get in underneath the tower on top of Dendi. So this is some early ganks being made by DC that aren't really achieving anything.
It's like a very quiet Clockwork game. There's just no openings for him. Dendi's positioning in this game in the mid lane has been perfect, where he's just sitting back when he needs to. And the reason he can do that is because of the wards. 2 defensive wards protecting him. He's come
quite far forward now, though.
He'll see it coming in, but can he get away?
There's TP's coming in immediately. Yep. And that will mean that Aoi cannot chase this down. Dendi does remain safe. Bottom lane, though, a bit of a go on to Crystallize. He's got the waveform. Will be more than fine. As the strength morphed into.
The Radiant Ward mid sees that hero coming in. If that ward's not there, Dendi does not have vision of his own high ground and just gets flanked from behind by the Clockwork. So really good placement of these wards.
Top lane, couple of punches. Look towards that courier. But Moon will be able to keep the courier safe. The bottom lane, though, even though the supports have been moving around on DC Ritsu, he is back on getting that farm. He's level with Crystallize. So a lot of cores this game, pretty much on the same amount of farm. Just General slightly behind, but he's, to be fair, in this matchup, he's holding his own. They'll get the sleep out onto the bat, but immediate TP from Aoi will make sure the General can't stick around. It will get cancelled, but the threat of the TP enough to make sure that Na'Vi don't dive in for a kill attempt onto Moon.
Moon was definitely winning this lane, but he's kind of messed up the lane by going. If you go for a kill and you don't get it when you're winning the lane,
down
you
bottom.
Really get punished.
LeBron, he's been found out. He's got the Malefice on him. Aoi traps him in the cogs. He'll try for the brain sap to keep him alive. Dendi coming across, but there's no savior for LeBron. As DC will claim first blood as they catch out the Wandering Bane.
Very late first blood, not the biggest kill, being the 5 position Bane, who has absolutely 0 net worth. So not going to lead to too much for DC, but it is a nice little bit of cash injection for the Witch Doctor, who will get some boots likely off of that.
Yeah, always a great morale boost to get that first blood, and especially in a game where it's been as slow as such. 6.5 minutes, as you say, just the 1 kill, but top lane Lil and General will look towards Moon. They've got the sleep to hold him in place, but with the Firefly, Moon a little too tricky to chase down. They'll have to respect that. Same time towards mid. LeBron looking for the hold on to Aoi. They'll bring in Lil, and then Dendi finds the raises. He gets the pick off. Na'Vi able to claim themselves a kill, and they're looking for more, trying for the stomp. He will catch it. It will catch the Witch Doctor. Dendi moves into position and claims the kill. Double kill for Dendi as Na'Vi maintain good control of that mid lane area. This ward, it's done so much for them, God.
Dendi is definitely one of those players who is, with the way Na'Vi play around him in the early game, he is the king of having good starts. What always comes down to for Na'Vi is how they transition off of a good Dendi early game, because he often gets babysat, gets that net worth advantage in the get-go, but he needs to not get picked off and feed any kills following this. But so far, so good for Na'Vi. Dendi gets 2 kills to his name, pops the net worth here at 7 minutes in.
Still obviously early days and very close, but both cores for Na'Vi just that little bit ahead of the respective partners on the side of DC. Bottom lane, a bit of an attempt being made, but Aoi is there. Looking to try and hold Crystallize off. Crystallize, caught in the cogs for now, has got the waveform to break himself out. Pops the stick charges, he will be fine. Same time elsewhere, up top, General and Lil made the kill attempt on Moon and are successful. LeBron getting caught out in the sidelines, he's trying to run himself back. Missile will fly through from Rizzo. They find the connection, the flak bringing LeBron down low, but not quite enough to get the kill. Na'Vi keep both alive on this safe lane whilst making plays elsewhere on the maps with Lil's rotations on this Elder Titan.
Really cool play attempt from Na'Vi in the bottom lane. If the supports aren't there, the Gyro kills himself by the morph, basically. You can kill some very powerful early game spells with Rocket Barrage and homing. Luckily, the supports were there to bail him out. But yeah, Moon's top lane, he was the guy who was meant to be the tempo controller, who had this very free lane, but by going for these kills and not getting them, he then ran out of mana, didn't have the ability to pressure Stanking, and Stanking is ahead of him in net worth. General has outplayed Moon in a matchup that is meant to be very difficult.
Moon trying to lead in. Lil is still here. There's the Power Strike to set up Moon. I think he's come a bit too far forward. He has got the Firefly. They'll start to punch him. Moon pops the Flame Break, trying to get himself out of there. There will be backup. Stanking comes in with a TP. Paralyzing Cask and a lasso will allow Moon to turn things around as they claim the life of Lil. General will TP back to the shrine, keep himself safe, but DC this time making the support rotation to make sure that Moon can get back on top on this top half of the map.
They needed that. They need to prioritize one lane. They're kind of trading slightly unfavorably in both side lanes as well as mid. They need to just go to a lane, get a kill, and start trying to win it.
Down in the jungle here, we are going to have Moon coming across. Lil looks for the sleep. He's going to be able to hold down the bat. LeBron and General moving in close. They have the Power Strike surrounding the bat. He'll pop the Firefly stick charges. Not enough. Moon will lose his life yet again as Na'Vi make rotations to deal with the bat and make sure that Moon continues to suffer.
And Na'Vi supports are where they need to be. We've seen Lil a couple times at top getting kills. We've seen LeBron now in top as well as the mid lane, helping his team out securing kills. So very good support rotations coming out of Na'Vi, whereas from the DC side, we saw a lot of time wasted on like AUI's clockwork, moving between lanes, not getting kills. Same for the Witch Doctor. It feels like DC have gone for kills and not fallen short, whereas Na'Vi have reacted and then found the kills when they've gone for them.
Dendi just soaring ahead in farm. You can see the difference now in his individual net worth. Over 1,000 ahead at the PL at this early point of the game, 10 minutes in. This is a very farmed SF. As you say, the supports DC just unable to sort of put a lockdown on either of Na'Vi's cores during this laning stage, at least the extent you can imagine they would have hoped for when they came into this draft. But the rotations are coming in. This is the important one. When you're bringing in the Gyrocopter, Ritsu, level 6 now, wants to try and kick things off. We'll put the homing missile onto Lil, though. They'll back away. Moon's on the side, gets the knockback. They have the lasso and the control. Ritsu with the cooldown will have the damage. They take down Dendi. It's a 3-man sleep, but with no 4-man sleep, in fact, with no follow-up. Na'Vi can't find a return kill. So the Gyro rotation, perfect for DC. That's what they needed to sort of free the game back up for themselves, get this early pressure onto the tier 1 tower.
And that's the perfect kill. They've had this deep observer ward in Dendi's jungle for quite some time, and finally it leads to a kill on him. Grip at top, Moon's been caught out.
Oh, have they got the follow?
They've got nothing.
I don't think they do. LeBron.
He's dreaming.
Yep, there's the Nightmare. He's out of there. He cannot get this kill on his own. General is on the high ground, does have the epicenter, but homing missile inbound onto him means the General cannot commit, and LeBron is going to get chased down here as DC look to finish off the kill. They've got the Flame Break knockback, and they'll claim the Bane's life.
Kill there, Moon starting to really get some momentum. Dendi still top of the net worth by a full 1,000 gold, but those are the big kills you're going to be very careful about giving away. Something that it feels like happens a bit too often with Na'Vi as Dendi gets ahead on net worth, still continues to farm. He's a very farm-based mid laner, and anytime
Dire's
you
middle
die the most farm here on the
tower is
map,
under
it's a
attack.
big
Oh, and top.
amount of gold being given.
General, he's going to try for this. He's got the blink, the epi, the burst strike. Will it be enough damage? No, it's not. Ritsu still alive for now. Pops the cooldown to try and slow down the chase of General and LeBron, and it will be enough to keep him safe. Moon now coming in, trying for the return play with the Firefly. A quick nightmare from LeBron. Holds back the bat, so Na'Vi will be able to disengage. Ritsu keeping himself alive there. Very crucial for DC.
Looked like General wanted to go for a Burrow strike from the trees, but Ritsu backed off.
Bottom, Aoi,
Radiant's
now
middle
6,
tower
tries for the
is
opening
under
onto
attack.
Crystallize. Crystallize waveform is still on cooldown. It starts to morph into strength, but with Brawl chasing him down, they'll bring him down low. Stick charges a pop though, and he's got a lot of HP to work with. As he goes all the way into strength, will be able to walk it off. Moon has come down as well. He's looking for the lasso control. Can he find anyone in the tree line? General, backing up.
Dire's top
Power you may
tower
want to
is
give
under
up if you're
attack.
Na'Vi.
Crystallize with the efficiency, goes full agi, pops the sow. So that he gets himself back to full, but DC really want to put the pressure in on this bottom lane. Ritsu's going to TP down. They have 4 heroes here, ready to make the play. Moon has the vision with the Firefly. Quick blink out though from the Sand King, and Crystallize, he knows that he has to get out. Immediately
Radiant's bottom
waveforms into the
tower is
trees,
under attack.
TP's away. This is a tower that if you're Na'Vi, you do
Dire's
not
top
want to
tower
attempt to
has
hold.
fallen.
Yep, you're trading too, so there's not a huge loss by any means. You're getting an equal trade. Your Morphling is also farming, whereas DC had to bring most of their cores to that bottom lane. They brought in the Gyro, the PL, the that. They brought all 3 cores, and Na'Vi are getting more out of the map. There's no need. If you die there, that's where DC are like, yeah, that's a good trade for us. But as long as you stay alive as a Morphling and find somewhere else on the map to farm, it's a win.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Aoi does have hookshot back online. Rotations coming in for DC. Maybe Aoi can look to try and find an opening on this. Na'Vi do have the numbers though. Could be a hard fight for DC to take.
Got the 4-staff on Dendi, so he rushes the item to help him against that clockwork.
Stanky says something up. No, he can't because General straight in with the Burrow Strike. Sleep Stomp as well with the raise from Dendi. They finish off the Witch Dots and DC lead him with a homing missile, but with a man down. DC very careful about how they look to take this defense, and they can't. They have to let it go.
Dire's middle tower
So as you
has
say,
fallen.
sure, Na'Vi, they lose tier 1, but tier 1 top and tier 1 mid are taken by themselves.
DC just a little bit behind on some key heroes. Gyrocopter's item progression not quite there, as well as level progression. You really want to have like a level 10 Gyro with drum at least around now. Similar story with the PL is farming well, but until he gets to Fusel, he's just not at that really scary, strong PL state. So we'll see DC probably hit this kind of timing where PL has Diffusal, they can start using smokes, trying to find a hookshot kill. Problem is, a lot of these heroes have escapes against the hookshot and the clockwork. You've got Morphling with Waveform, Burrow Strike on Sand King, Dendi's got his 4-staff, so there's very few kills they can actually get.
I mean, they're looking at this, but it's only Moon and Aoi. And between the two of them, even with the lasso, it's a hard kill to get. They'll just poke or crystallize, they'll back away.
Dire's top
Na'Vi
tower
continuing
is
to push
under
himself
attack.
with Lil and General. Then he continuing to farm safely in his jungle. He does have the completed Hurricane Pike now, so good stats, and as you say, good
Radiant's
mobility
middle
to
tower
help him in
is
these
under
situations.
attack.
We'll be going straight for the BKB after. With the BKB online, the physical damage at this stage is certainly not going to be there for DC, so Dendi will have a good attempt, good chance in these fights to get out a lot of damage from this SF.
Yeah, I like this build from Dendi and the way he's playing it. Very safe. It's going to mean that when DC hit their timing where they're looking to rely on was a lot of magic damage. Bat Rider, your Gyrocopter, cooldown, Rocket Barrage, PL Diffusal, all this stuff is going to be a lot kind of heavily negated because of Dendi's fast BKB pickup.
Mid lane, a wraparound coming in from
Radiant's
DC
middle
behind the
tower is
tower.
under
Looks to
attack.
catch out one of the members of
Dire's
Na'Vi, but
top tower
Crystallize,
is under attack.
who was in the neighborhood, has
Dire's
backed away.
structures are fortified.
With this smoke, unlikely that they find a kill. Obviously, DC with the setup can get the space, the safety to allow Ritsu to push in. Now, level 10 with that damage talent
Radiant
will be able to
structures
finish
are
off the
fortified.
tier 1 tower mid.
Dire's top
DC
tower
claiming
is
themselves some
under attack.
objectives, but at the same time, up top, Dendi, he's
Radiant's
knocking on the
middle
tier 2
tower
tower,
has fallen.
and he's only just going to go and get it.
Dire's
16
top
minutes
tower
in,
has fallen.
Na'Vi bringing down the first of DC's tier 2s.
Yeah. I feel like we often kind of talk about tempo as casters, and I think this is a good example of, look at both teams, they're kind of making the right moves. Na'Vi is
Dire's
just
top
making them
tower is
faster
under
and
attack.
before DC. Like if DC smoke mid when Na'Vi is still there, get a pick off and get the tower after it, great. That's what DC looking to do, but Na'Vi have already moved top lane with 4 heroes. Even Crystallize has already vacated the mid lane to go to the jungle. Na'Vi are
Radiant's
just
bottom
kind of a
tower
step
is
ahead of
under
DC,
attack.
and because of the tempo they're playing at, where they're top before DC's even at that mid tier 1 smoke, Na'Vi are getting further ahead.
Top lane, they're gonna go in. Epi, Burrow Strike, Earth Splitter, everything there to bring down Ritsu. Na'Vi punishing a lone Gyro as he heads out a little too far, expecting Na'Vi to have backed up after they take the tier 2 tower. But a little bit of an outplay there from the two members of Na'Vi. Get around themselves a big kill. But here's the timing you were mentioning earlier. Bryle now with the Diffusal Blade. DC, if they can get a lasso and get that PL on top of someone, they can bring down most heroes on Na'Vi. Maybe not the Morph if he's able to start, getting the strength up. But any other hero, they're going to be gone between these two.
Morph's even got a Lincoln, so you run into him, you're not even getting that lasso off easily. And he's the one who may pop this smoke. Natus Vincere going out, looking around, perhaps feeling like DC are coming this way, and Dendi, the one hero you do not want to have
that
get
would be
caught
the
out.
big catch. I saw Aoi there playing around with a hook shot. Maybe see if we can find it on the side. They'll get an easier kill. They find the jump onto Lil. Death Ward down as well. They're moving on to the Elder Titan. DC get the pick off. Not quite the core they would have dreamed for, but nonetheless, taking off an Elder Titan at this stage will allow them to put their own pressure onto Na'Vi's tier 2 on the bottom lane.
Nice move from DC. It still took them a long time, and that kind of a loss is very palatable for Na'Vi. I think you look at that and you're like, okay, they got just our 4th position. Morphling's still farming. Na'Vi's timing is around the Ethereal Blade. That's where they get strong and scary. It's also just the late game. Morphling, the longer this game goes, the more untouchable he becomes. So Na'Vi is not feeling the pressure at all. They lose a tier 2 tower, so by all means, that is still progression for DC, but it doesn't feel like enough. They need to keep on doing that and keep finding more better fights and better pickoff.
Absolutely. As you can see with the pace of the game, the cores of Na'Vi just continuing to get further and further ahead. It is 6 for 5, and the kills are pretty low action game in terms of pickoffs, but the objective taking, the farming, been on point and just a little better so far from Na'Vi. DC definitely needing those kills to sort of alleviate the lead that Na'Vi have managed to build up.
BKB rush on Ritz Gyrocopter feels like a must-buy item. It's always tough when you got to go this fast BKB when you're behind. Often when you're ahead, you're like, oh, I'll get a fast BKB because we're team fighting and constantly killing them, and this BKB allows me to do that. But when you're doing it as a gyro that's behind, you're like, I'm going to farm very slowly and my item progression is going to suck. That's kind of the reality for Ritsu here, and there's not much he can do about it. He has to get this BKB to stay alive and to fight, which is what a gyrocopter pick is designed to do.
Bottom lane, Na'Vi looking for the setup. They have the epicenter back online for General, level 12 as well. The Blink can force a lot of maneuverability to get himself in prime position to burst down a core. They'll look for a support instead though. Aoi comes wandering into the jungle. They'll bring him down lower and they've got it. The final touch there from General with the Sandstorm gets the kill, and at the same time Dendi shoving in that bottom lane means that Na'Vi continue to claim yet another tier 1 tower, and Dendi also putting some pressure onto the tier 2.
They're setting up top to defend as well. DC may not expect this. Na'Vi have moved incredibly fast to get up here.
Let's see. Look at the gap close here for General. Comes in with the blink. The force gets close to Ritsu. Goes to the Sandstorm, but there's the lasso immediately. They have the Earth Splitter coming out. He's going to catch out the Baba Ritsu. He's turning things around. Looking towards General with the flak. Hits and the homing missile. Is it enough to finish off the kill? It's not. General will survive. DC still seeing if they get any pickoffs. Bryle did doppelganger forward aggressively, but they've got to get back to the base. Bottom lane, Na'Vi finished off the tier 2 and are starting to knock on the doors of the tier 3 tower. So Na'Vi, they don't get a kill with that defense, but they do hold on to the tower. They are continuing to just have a better grip of this game than DC are.
Yep. That was slightly misexecuted. It was good play from Ritsu to back off just in time as the gank was coming. If he gets caught in that burrow strike, he is almost certainly dead. So Na'Vi definitely making the right call to TP top with a couple of heroes. They're pressuring bottom while they go for the kills top. They're just able to do so much more on the map than DC, who have to kind of focus all their efforts around one place. Na'Vi able to just split their attention.
LeBron, finds Stanking. Stanking will reveal that there's a sentry ward down as he turns with a quick punch. Howie coming in, looking for the angle on the hook shot, will find it. With the back of a moon, LeBron looking to be in a whole world of trouble as Bryle turns up for the action, and they will claim the life of the Bane. But again, it's these supports that they're being able to kill. Then these SF crystallizes Morphling. They're barely having a look in at any of the action from DC as they are just continuing to farm with no sort of interruption from Digital Chaos.
DC seem to just be accepting their fate that this game is going late. Ultimately, they're at a disadvantage because they're against the ET, one of the best scaling 4 positions. They're against the Morphling. Dendi's SF is well top of the net worth chart, but they still have a chance in the late game. By no means do they just auto-lose if this game drags out. They've just got to outplay and out-execute. Choose better fights, have the vision that allows them to get the jump in these fights with the Batrider Lasso, the Clockwork Hook Shot. If they can get good initiations, they can win team fight.
Na'Vi wanting to gravitate around the Roshan pit, but even with their lead, still a little bit risky to try for it at this sort of time. BKB complete for Ritsu.
Yeah, coin.
DC want to do. They can finally team fight now. And often Na'Vi are split. They're not going as 5 as much. Crystallized farming a lane while the other 4 Na'Vi members are grouped up. If that remains the case, it does look like Na'Vi are converging around the Roshan pit, which means the Morphling will be there. So perhaps the fight DC are not hoping for. They want that 5v4 fight.
They're actually going to start going into the Roshan and hitting away of it. DC with the high ground, coming in on the side of it. Moon jumps in with the lasso onto the Bane, tracks into the side, and clutches of Ritsu and Stand Kick. Once again, they'll take down LeBron. The rest of Na'Vi backing up. Moon looking for the chance to chase down. We'll go for one sticky onto Lil. Lil, a little too speedy though, will be able to keep his distance. DC unable to get sort of the catch on anything further than that Bane. That Na'Vi, and they're more than happy to throw away LeBron on the front, as it does sort of tank the rotation from DC.
Yep. It's that similar story where it's Port kill who dies and there's no objective from DC. Like if they get that kill and Na'Vi have to back off to base, kind of wounded, and then DC get Roshan, yeah, great kill, you're happy with the Bane. But you kill a Bane, smoked up, you don't use your BKB on Gyro, but you're still just not really progressing if you're in DC shoes, so you're still hoping for more next time you make a big play and move like that. But ultimately DC, again, still in this game, still have ways into this through their teamfight initiation. It's going to be very challenging to do so.
Setting up behind Ritsu, sort of hoping to use him at it's a bit of a bait. Na'Vi not looking to bite it. Bryle does now have the Manta style complete, so that extra bit of survivability for Bryle in the midst of these team fights could be what they require. But as you say, I think at this stage, DC more than content to just try and farm up these major items on these 2 cores. Get the heart done on Bryle. It's still obviously a long way away. Once it's there, definitely a chance for Bryle to get in on the front line of these fights and not have to worry too much about being bursted down by Na'Vi.
I'll take your tribute.
I'll be happy just to continue playing this slow-paced game. With a Morphling, you're definitely feeling good, and we've seen Crystallize happy to take it late, do very well as far as being able to play this kind of 1v5s Morphling, and he's not 1v5, he's got Dendi. Dendi's out-farming everyone, so the SF has plenty of potential to scale here. 3.5k net gold currently, so Dendi's going to have another new item soon on Shadow Fiend, and make DC's life very difficult.
I mean, you can see it as well, DC, as soon as Dendi shows in a lane, the full 5-man of DC sort of swarms towards him.
Yep, he's the hero you can theoretically kill and gank. You see Crystallizing in the lane, you're like, well, that's their Morphling farming, can't stop that. You see Dendi and you're like, ooh, let's get this guy. He's and actually killable. Dendi maybe goes for Lincolns of his own. It's a very defensive item. It's a I can't be killed type of item, so not an item you feel like you're going to get strong buying, but an item that you feel like may just be the safest to win you the game. Alternatively, you start thinking, let's get damage. Let's get like Butterfly, Satanic, Daedalus type pickups.
Back towards the Ancients, just continuing to farm both sides.
There's a ward there. I like that Moon's picked up this gem. I think you need to limit Na'Vi's vision at this stage, and it's always very safe to gem on a Bat Rider. Just unfortunately, he barely skimmed past an Observer ward.
These sort of passive moments still very much feeling like the calm before the storm, though.
Yep. Passive games where you're playing around the Roshan pit too. In DC's case, you're playing to stop Na'Vi getting it. Na'Vi, you're trying to find and force an opening to take Rosh without a fight. Comes Ethereal Blade though. Realize has the money.
Well, continuing to keep some info out there as he moves the Spirit about. DC just constantly standing behind each of their cores, making sure that Ritsu and Bryle can continue to feel safe going out in the lanes. Safety is certainly going to be short-lived though, if Crystallize gets on top of them with that heavy nuke damage.
For DC is having this rocket flare, they can constantly scout out Roshan. Even though it's hard to move out on the map against Na'Vi and get wards down, they do have ways. Some vision. Bat Rider's constantly like pushing waves as well, which naturally by shoving lanes you're going to have a lot more intel and info on the map. And they did find Na'Vi's ward in the bottom lane, but very limited Na'Vi vision. Similarly, Na'Vi have the outskirts. That's their tool for getting as much.
I was seeing if he could get a chance onto mid lane, but it's ever so risky. Going on the morph thing is always such a hard call to make.
Very tense game. 7 kills apiece, 27 minutes
It's
in.
got to be one of the lowest kills we've seen, I think, in the whole tournament at this stage.
I think if you look at the kills, like how many actual real kills have we seen? Like for DC, it feels like they've had maybe 2. Like they killed the ET and got the bottom tier 2. They killed Dendi once. Like most of the other kills, it's just LeBron dying on Bane. Like his 4 deaths have all been pretty meaningless as far as the overall state of the game for Na'Vi. Killed a Gyro like once. That was a big kill. They've yet to touch Bryle. No big team fights, and both teams kind of just avoiding each other as much as possible to play for the late game. And here we see he's catching up. He's overtaken Morphling. He's actually narrowing in on the SF in terms of net worth. So
yeah, Bryle doing an excellent job of just finding the opportunities to farm, as you say, with the 0 deaths, not getting caught out at all. And that heart that I talked about a little earlier, he's getting pretty close to it. Now, 1,400 gold to go, and it will be there. So at this pace of the game, you sort of expect that the heart will be there before the next team fight kicks off.
Big question is always framed by the panel, I think, and a lot of what's happened is how do you deal with the Morphling?
I mean, Gods, what do you think about this? Lil, he's queuing up a Dagon on the Elder Titan. He's got it. Dagon ET, Ultra Force. I don't think I've ever seen that, Gods, at least not in a pro game.
Huh. Okay.
That's
Clearly he's buying it to one-shot the PL. First, I mean, it's very one-dimensional what this item does, burst damage, and he's thinking...
There's an E-Blade on the team?
Yeah, E-Blade is going to be amped up even more. It gets amped up by his aura. If you stun a hero who has BKB, you want to somehow burst them before they get that BKB off, and Dagon helps out a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not sure I agree with the pickup, with all that said.
It seems a bit risky.
I feel like there's other items he could have gone, even like those late game refreshes on he always seem insane. He does get the cooldown talent at level 25, which is where refreshes. About this one.
I mean, but as you say, if it ends up being that extra little bit of burst to get someone killed underneath the cover of the E-Blade, then it instantly pays off. If you're able to take one of those cores out of the fight, as you mentioned, before they can pop a BKB, massive item pickup, but it's a lot of ifs and buts. When we may see sort of in these fights him unable to sort of get the opportunity to do so.
Typically, you think supports, you're thinking, what's the item I can get to help out my core stay alive? Like a Lincoln Seas or the Lotus Orb, the Force Staff, the Glimmer Cape. Those are the items you normally look towards.
Oh, look at this though. Na'Vi finally finding the opportunity to really get stuck into the pit.
DC should know this. They've got rocket flares there. They also have the bottom lane pushed out. Yeah, they know exactly where Na'Vi are.
Na'Vi back off.
And they've got Roche quite low. The problem is no one can TP bottom. If you TP bottom, you're giving up Roche chance, but luckily for Na'Vi, the lane should be able to push itself. This is where having like a boost to travel can be really key. If someone like Bryle on PL could push out and threaten the high ground bottom and then travel in, suddenly you've got a way for DC to take Roche.
Radiant are scanning.
Incredibly tense moment of the game. I sort of lost count of the minutes that we've had without any kills being made. You can see there the last bit of action. I mean, it was only sort of a couple of LeBron deaths in terms of actual real kills. It's been 10 minutes.
Here we go. They're going to run another near mid.
Moon, the Firefly on the side, does have the Arcane Rune ready to play with, but we can see so hard for him to make that jump in, knows that there's more than likely going to be an instant reaction from an E-Blade, from a Nightmare or a Fiend Script, making it very hard for Moon to get these jumps, but he's going to try. Jumps in, but there's the reaction, General. Comes in with a Burrow Strike. Moon trying to crack to the side, but the E-Blade bursting down with the Earth Splitter. They get Moon. They turn towards Bryle. There's the grab. The Fiend Script for the cancel for the hook shot. They're able to find some done, but it's not enough. Bryle will fall. Na'Vi, they take a 3. It's a triple kill for Lil. The Dagon ET paying off. Owie getting bursted low as well. Crystallize will have waveform back up in 5 seconds. Owie continue to retreat. Ritsu will get onto the high ground and TP back to safety. But Owie in more than trouble. Gets caught out by the Burrow Strike. The E-Blade as well. DC lose 4. And Na'Vi, LeBron, we'll take it again. Another death for the Bane, but more than happy for that if you are Na'Vi at this stage of the game, because that will open you up with the chance to go back into Roshan, claim that Aegis with no chance of DC getting in for a look-in.
And the gem loss too. That's a pretty big swing, and that extra kind of 1,800 gold swing. Na'Vi with an Aegis, that is the fight. You know, it's been building up. We've had 30 minutes of Dota without a team fight, but one big fight was kind of what we were looking at to decide the outcome of this game. DC needed that good big initiation, but the instant blink Burrow Strike. General has been such a big player for Na'Vi time and time again, and he shows it there. Moon didn't even get the Force Staff off. He blinked, he tried to turn to use his after the lasso to use his Force Staff to pull away, but he didn't even get that off. Great fast reactions. And then the Lincoln Sphere from the Crystallize was actually cast on Dendi, which stopped some of the follow-up spells. So very well done. I think it even just stopped the Spirit Lance, but even a bit of damage there means Dendi is a lot healthier when he gets that BKB off. Bottom line, Dendi's actually been gone.
He is. BKB comes out, but now with the cutoff, gets the hookshot. Dendy still with the BKB, continues to retreat. He needs help, and he needs it now. Looks to rev at the Requiem, catches out on the side. There's the Fiend's Grip, the nuke damage. Lil with the leveled up now Dagon. You know, if you go Dagon, you commit, and Lil is. It's level 2 at the moment, and he's going to keep maxing it out until 5 at this stage because it's paying off. He got a triple kill last fight. Now he's just getting all the kills secured. He's looking to pad up those stats, and I don't think his team's going to be too mad. This Elder Titan, pretty damn scary.
It's crazy because Na'Vi didn't really have damage issues, but hey, now they definitely don't with the Dagon. It's DC who have damage issues. We saw in the mid lane, you lasso this Shadow Fiend, even if that Burrow Strike isn't there, I don't feel like they have good burst damage at all. The Gyrocopter, BKB, Lincoln's Drum, no, this guy's not doing damage. Your PL kind of does damage. He's got Diffuse on Manta into a Heart of Taras. None of these heroes kill. And that's where the Morphling is a huge problem. I think the one nice bit of damage to the Morphling is like Maledict, but BKB on both Morphling and SF means Maledict isn't even reliable damage. So
what's up? General with the Yule setup, Burrow Strike as well. They're going to have to sleep, and Epi holding him down. Is it enough? Moon can't get himself out of here. General finds the setup for yet another kill for Na'Vi. As Na'Vi, 33 minutes in, leading 13-8 and with a 10k gold lead. Bottom lane Ritsu forced to pop the BKB.
Bad news bears for him. It's one of those things where DC's just being forced to go ultra defensive with their items and their play, and they're not playing to win. They're playing just to stall the game out. It just feels like the game is, you know, they're staying in it. They've still got T2 towers up.
Easy farm for Crystallize. He's got the flak. Waves are gone. Doesn't even need to use a waveform. Waveform, that's so 2017 Morphling. You know, in 2018 now, it's all about healing that gyro spells. So what they can do mid Na'Vi. They have the full 5-man setup. DC 10 seconds without Moon. They've got to be so careful about coming anywhere close to this tower. Bryle, considering the sort of the pace of the game that Na'Vi are playing, he's still playing very, very strong in terms of his farm. He's up there in a comparable position to both Crystallize and Dendi.
Yep.
Very close behind. The real question is how much of an impact can he actually have in these fights?
He needs every item he can get. He's not farmed enough. That's the crazy thing. As much as he is kind of on par, he needs Butterfly. He needs his level 25, I think, is the big thing. That crit built in is going to give him at least a bit more damage to fight into the Shadow Fiend, the Morphling. He needs a way to deal with the Butterfly as well. So the evasion on Dendi makes him a lot tankier, and Bryle does not have a good way to pierce through that yet.
Lil, up again. Down to the level 3 Dagon.
Level 4
Dire's top
base.
tower is under attack.
He's happy. Happy camper.
Oh, DC.
Wait. Close to Dendi, but we've seen how much they struggle to kill him. And Dendi with the Lincolns, I don't know how you actually start fights with Batrider against this net point. Very challenging situation. They don't have a... They've got okay... Theoretically, they could break the Lincolns to get a lasso, but it's going to take them a lot of tools to do so. And then at that point, have you got the damage to follow it up? Not really.
Here we go, Na'Vi. Once again, looking to smoke. They know that Lil, he's got that Dagon up to level 3. Time to put it to good work. Na'Vi hunt for a catch. DC are realizing there's many members of Na'Vi off the map. Instantly back up to the high ground, making sure not to get caught out by these sort of smoke rotations.
And that gem loss, you can kind of see here how much it hurts DC, because 2 very deep aggressive wards lay directly outside DC's base. And this is where... That's kind of how you get further ahead. When you're in a Na'Vi situation and your opponents are turning on their base, you put wards right outside their base and you starve them out. When DC had a gem, it's a lot more difficult to do that because DC were able to de-ward these, and then they could actually push out lanes safely, knowing that Na'Vi had limited vision. They really need to buy a new gem as much. Yeah, they've got a new gem. Okay, Moon's bought a new gem. They need to find these wards to take them out as soon as possible.
Again, the game falling back to this sort of passive stages that we've seen for the large priority of it. We are seeing does certainly favor Na'Vi if they continue to get further and further again. And wow, I mean, I'm not surprised. Only 5 ETs have purchased a Dagon since TI5. Not surprised that, yeah, Lil would be one to join them. Definitely one of the bit of an innovator in terms of hero picks, and this time in terms of item builds.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Tier 1 elimination. That is a big
Dire
reason why
are
these teams are
scanning.
playing so cautiously. Navi with their
Dire's
lead. It
bottom
even feels like they
tower
could
is
be
under attack.
shoving these lanes a bit more, keeping DC more under pressure and trying to, you know, more actively try to find pickoffs. But I think Navi themselves are feeling like their lineup is going to win them the late game. Let's just, you know, play a bit more passively than we perhaps need to because of what's at stake here. They're a team that's, you know, barely in the top 8 of DPC. They really want to get some points here in Indonesia.
Absolutely stepping it up big time on the LAN main stage here. Ritsu continuing to make his way towards that butterfly.
The big real difference. You go past the cores who are, you know, for DC, the PL's kind of close to Gyro, he's a bit further, but, you know, supports are really struggling on the DC side. And the offlaner, you've got a 4-position Lil who has more farm than the 3-position Batrider. Sandking has got 12k net worth. It's a very sad state for the 3 DC players who are not farming.
An interesting decision here from Brown. Goes for the nullifier after the heart for that extra bit of lockdown and control. They can get on top of the more or of course that SF, but it is going to be hard with the Lincolns in play. As long as you can pop it and get it off, it could result in a kill.
Got Diffusal, got Spirit Lance, has ways to break it.
Yeah.
And after you see a PL running at you, you're not going to just instantly pop your BKB. So theoretically, if he runs it like an SF and breaks his Lincoln, then instantly nullifies him, you could go for that kill. The big thing with Nullifier is the synergy it has with silences. He's got the Orchid queued up. The silence plus Nullifier, effectively that hero has no escape. You can't use your BKBs, you can't use your escape spells. You're done for. That's where you could kill anyone on the map theoretically if they don't have an A on disc. A on disc is like the one item you can get where it's like, oh, you don't actually die to this combo. We'll see if he can get there. We'll see if he can actually get to his level 25 as well, which is the other big boost to his damage output.
And Dendi, at this stage, we've seen a few mid laners do this when they have this much amount of farm, queuing up the Cypher Vice so they can have that sort of extra game-ending lockdown.
Yeah, he's gone for a very kind of right-click oriented build up until this point, not going for like the Blink, the Yules, using those like easy Requiem combos, but he still has the Shadow Rays damage and he's still likely almost certainly going to get the cooldown reduction.
Absolutely.
With a Hex, that Hex is just has such high uptime that it's very hard to fight into.
Lead continuing to grow here for Na'Vi. DC have managed to slow it down a little bit with the fact that they are able to obviously also farm out the lanes as the pressure's being kept on by Na'Vi. Na'Vi are maintaining that lead and we're yet to see DC able to really swing it back around at all this game as Na'Vi have maintained control of the advantage for the entirety of this 40 minutes so far.
We'll be seeing like the big level 25s coming into play this game. More playing halfway to his level 25 and Shadow Fiend just hitting level 24 as well. Shadow Fiend's the big one. More playing, you know, it's okay. I'm not sure which one you'll get. I think the waveform charges I've seen a bit of. I don't think either of those is really a big game changer. The PLs though, that's the one on the DC side they really look to for being a big late game talent.
Ritsu, worth mentioning as well, he did say earlier have the butterfly queued up, but changed his mind, went for the S&Y instead. I guess he just wanted sort of that extra bit of snap survivability now at this stage, but it's going to mean that damage output is still going to be lacking for DC.
Not sure about SMY, but I also don't know what is the item. I mean, the butterfly isn't really damage. It's some survive. Butterfly and SMY to me are very similar. They're just like kind of these hybrid items where it's some damage, some survivability, a bit of everything. Movement speed they both give. And I think that's what Ritsu feels like. This game's going to be carried by the PL, so he can just go for like very stable, stay alive type item pickup. He's very fast. Max movement speed. But he's not going for that all in. I feel like a lot of players in his, well, not a lot of players. I feel like one player particularly, Envy, comes to mind who in his shoes would have gone much bigger. He would have been like, I'm getting a Rapier. It is a pretty desperate position that DC are in. They're maybe getting to the point soon where they're going to have to go for some
I think they might have
bold
to.
plays.
Certainly hope we do get to see some Rapier action here on the main stage. Always exciting, especially in these best of ones. And as you mentioned earlier, you can absolutely feel that both teams I don't think they'd play like this in a best of 3. This is super safe play from both sides with this best of 1, everything on the line in terms of tournament hopes here at GESC.
Wouldn't play like this if it was a winner bracket game as well.
Mid lane. Moon will find the opening. There's going to be the backup from Maui. They've got the control onto Lil. Will get forced down at the cogs though. The rest of Na'Vi sweeping across. Crystallize goes forward with the Fiend's Grip as well. They hold Aoi down. Couple of razors will finish him. They get the clock. Ritsu with the BKB heads straight towards Crystallize, but Crystallize with his own BKB mans up. Wave falls forward. He's punching it to Ritsu. Death falls down, but General cancels it straight away. The Burrow Strike. Ritsu falling low. He's still alive for now.
Oh, the flag! He's gonna die!
Crystallize gets it quickly with a flag. The attack from that long range connects onto Ritsu.
Crystallize out of mana.
Trying to find some things in return, but General is back in with the Burrow Strike. The zap from Lil. They've claimed 4 again. General with that buyback, securing that crucial kill onto a second claw. As now Na'Vi, they're up to the high ground, pushing onto the base. Ritsu and Brielle do have buyback available. But this mid lane of Rax looking to be in a whole world of trouble as Na'Vi claim the tier 3, claim the melee and range Rax as DC look unable to do anything to stop this onslaught.
What's going on here? Their last hope. I don't think they can afford to give up multiple lanes of Rax. You're going to have to buy back. You may as well do it soon.
You've got to get in, and now we will. Straight away with the hook shot. Crystallize those zapped himself out. Looks towards the Wisdom. The Mercy Low. Dendi with the BKB. The Requiem turns towards Stand King. Crystallize will find the Wisdom. The General with the MP. Straight on top of Brian. Brian will fall. It's a dieback on the PL. Ritsu getting sent towards as well as Crystallize and Dendi look for the chase down. Forcing DC back to base. Moon tries to the jump on Dendi, but the link is in there. GG is called, ladies and gentlemen. Na'Vi hold on to their tournament hopes and dreams here at GSC Jakarta as they knock out DC.
Such a tense game, you could see it. Na'Vi, it feels like, had the edge from start to finish, but it really took a lot of composure to seal the deal.